Hello, and welcome to episode 194 of the Casual Try Hard podcast. I'm Brian,
And I'm James.
and today we're going to be talking about some of the Unfinity cards,
Yeah,
mainly those that are for Eternal formats, right?
yeah. This is kind of expanding on our previous Unfinity show. It's kind of weird that we're doing a bunch of shows about an unset, but this isn't your usual unset. And kind of because of that, this isn't going to be our normal set review episode. We're only going to be looking at stuff that's Eternal legal. I didn't even bother looking at Acorn cards. So we're just trying to get a general view of, what sorts of things may be worth specking on for the set. Maybe, some stuff that might show up for Eternal play, whether it's Pauper, Commander, Legacy, whatever. But yeah, a little bit different than a normal set review episode, so stay tuned.
Yeah, so if you have any show ideas or you want to interact with us in any way, all of our social media stuff, Facebook, Twitter, our Discord, all those links are in the description.
Yep. Make sure you check them out. If you're looking to support the show, there's two ways to do it. The first is our TCG player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Follow that link over to TCG player and shop as normal, and then anything you purchase will help support the show. We'll get a percentage of your purchase price. If you're looking to support us more directly, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. You can chip a couple bucks in and you get access to our pre-show, which is kind of just more of us completely unscripted, making sure all our equipment's set up right and we still remember how to stream because we're getting old. You also get access to our show notes if you want to kind of follow along or get a sneak peek of what the episode's going to be. And patrons get put on my mailing list for when I have goodies to send out. So chip a couple bucks in, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg if you think we're doing a good job and you want to show us your support. We also have a YouTube channel, Casual Tryhard MTG on YouTube. If you haven't followed us over there already, you can watch us as we do the show instead of just listening to us if you'd like. Also, when we have shows like this that kind of have visual aids, I try and, do something visually for the YouTube show. So for this show, I will have the cards come up on the screen so you can follow along as you're watching and listening to us. You got anything else?
Nothing housekeeping wise.
All right, well, let's get into the show then.
Sounds good.
So first up, I figured we'd talk about the attractions.
Yes.
We kind of touched on them briefly in a previous episode. This is a parasitic mechanic. What do I mean by a parasitic mechanic? Just for people that haven't heard the term before.
It's a mechanic that doesn't play well with other mechanics in Magic. That it basically is only cares about cards that reference it in itself.
Yep.
So energy, right? For energy cards to work, you need cards that made energy and cards that spent energy.
Yep.
It's a parasitic mechanic. So attractions, you need stuff that opens attractions. And that's basically it, right?
Yeah,
and
that's basically it. Because the attractions
opens
are
attractions.
Yeah, whereas like with energy, like you said, you need both ends. You need stuff to make the energy and then stuff to spend the energy. Well, if we're comparing energy to attractions, you need stuff to make the attractions, but then the attractions kind of spend themselves every turn.
But you do need, like, stickers are also a parasitic mechanic. You need something that makes the tickets and then spends the tickets.
Yep.
Right, so it's kind of closer to energy. But yeah, this is not a mechanic that, like, this and Heroic don't play well together. Right? It's not like it's just like it's not Kicker that kind of plays well with everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this weird kind of one-off thing.
Yep. So that's kind of the lens that we're going to look through a little bit. Is this as kind of a parasitic mechanic? I think if this was just a parasitic mechanic, though, we wouldn't be talking about it because it wouldn't really be relevant. Like if you had to play just an attractions deck, I don't think we would care because they probably, you'd have that one guy that shows up to your EDH table with, the attractions deck and wants to play spin the bottle or whatever the attractions are. You see that once in a while, but like at other tables, you probably would never see it again. I think that part of what makes attractions, I don't know if interesting is the right word, but worth talking about, I'll say, is that while they are parasitic, you need like things, like the cards reference themselves. You want to play all of the stuff that makes attractions. Because the attractions, the backside of it, like they spend themselves almost every turn. I don't know if we need to look at it in the same light that we would with energy when we're looking at older formats, because you can just kind of splash a couple like attraction openers in your deck and then have access to like the benefits, if that makes sense.
Like, so it's one of those things where Wizards has a long history of when they introduce a new mechanic or card type, they don't know how to properly cost the mechanic or card type. So think about the early equipment.
Yeah.
Right. Umazawa's Jite, the swords.
Skull
right?
Clamp.
Yeah, they no idea what those cards, what the tech should be, what the mana cost should be, and what the equip cost should be. Then you go to like vehicles,
right?
Smuggler's Copter, Renegade Freighter.
Yep.
No idea what the crew cost should be, what the mana value should be, and energy, same thing. Like Rogue Refiner, if Rogue Refiner made 1 energy, maybe fine for 3 mana, but at 2 energy and drawing you a card, that 2 energy was worth almost another card.
Right. Same thing with like Attune with Ether.
Yes, Attune with Ether, the 2 energy was an extra card.
Yep.
And so if those had 1 extra mana tacked on them, fine. But since they didn't, not fine. Not good.
Right. Yep.
So there's a chance that they've not properly priced the attractions.
Yep. And I think that's what we're going to look into today.
Yes. So the attractions, they all have their effect, and there's numbers along the side. I think we explained this last time.
Yep.
And if you roll your die, your 6-sided die, and you hit the number, one of the numbers that is highlighted, you get the effect.
Yep.
So I need to buy more because there were more that were spoiled since I put in my big order. I spent $80 on attractions. Whew. So yeah, I just was like 20.
I will take them.
Yes, I will take them.
Did you specifically order ones with high numbers?
I did. I did not look at any that did not have high numbers.
All right.
I only focused on the ones that were like 4, 5, 6 or 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
Like I took the highest numbers. And the reason for this is the cards from
AFR.
What is it called? AFR. So 2 of them in particular, there's Barbarian Class and Pixie Guide. And they both have the same text, which is if you would roll 1 or more dice, roll that many plus 1, ignore the lowest. So if you have one that is 4, 5, 6, and you're rolling 2 dice, and you ignore the lowest die, right? I'm not a math scientist, but your odds go from 50-50
right
up. Right? I don't know if you're 75% to hit at that point or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I am not a statistician.
Yeah. Sure, you can figure it out. So I figured with these cards that are pushing you, that are allowing you to ignore your lowest roll, right? They're giving you an extra die and letting you ignore the low roll. Then you want to focus on the higher numbers.
Yep.
Because it's not letting you pick which roll you want. It's just saying get rid of the low one.
Right, which also makes it harder to hit the low numbers.
Exactly.
It's not just making it easier to hit the high numbers, it makes it harder to hit the low ones.
So if you have the choice between getting one that is on 4, 5, or 6, that is better for you than
2, 3, 6 or whatever.
Yeah, 2, 3, 6. Right? Because, you rolled a 5, well, that's a miss.
Yeah.
You rolled a 5 and a 3, well, that's a miss because you're ignoring the low one. It's not giving you a choice.
Right.
Right? So, but if you have one that is 5, 6, a 3 and a 5 is a hit.
Yep.
So that was my thought, is if someone was going to build a deck around attractions, they were going to probably want to use Barbarian class and Pixie Guide. And I could see, you know, if next summer they do yet another Dungeons and Dragons set,
We get more dice rolling stuff.
right? Maybe they have another, like, oh, hey, like the same kind of thing. Roll that many dice plus one.
Yeah.
And ignore the low, right? So then you start to get to this critical mass of things that are pushing all of your dice to the 4, 5, 6 area.
Yeah. And getting back to like specking on these things, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how this is going to play out. So, at 20 cents a piece, I don't feel bad, advising people to, make a spec, but I'm not sure how these are going to play out.
No.
But if you are going to spec, there's no downside to not specking into the high numbers, right? Like even if these find a home in a deck that isn't blue or red and doesn't have access to Barbarian class or Pixie Guide, like your chances are still the same to hit 4, 5, 6 as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they're exactly the same.
So like
right.
It doesn't, other than those specific cards, it doesn't really matter which ones they are. So why not get the ones that are higher?
That have the upside. Yeah, right. And also, like, if let's say you have a bunch of them, like, let's say you had all 3 of your attractions in the attraction zone. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever, right?
In your attractions.
Whatever.
Well, so once they come off of your attractions deck, they're in play. They're just an artifact in play.
Oh, they're just an artifact in play? Okay.
Yeah.
So they, okay. So, but once they're, if you have 3 of them, right, the turns, if you had, 1, 3, and 6, 2, 4, and 6, right, and then 4, 5, 6,
mm-hmm.
right, the turns where you, activate, 2 of them,
mm-hmm.
right, are good, but if you have all of them, if they're all 4, 5, and 6, right, the turns where you activate all 3 of them could just be so, backbreaking.
Yeah.
And if, 50% of the time you get to, make a 1/1 balloon with flying and then draw a card and bounce a creature.
Yeah.
For no mana.
Yeah, it's pretty
right,
good.
You basically just play Ether Channeler
mm-hmm.
for 0 mana.
Yep.
If you did that every other turn, you win every game that happens.
Yeah.
Right? For the next 6 turns, every other turn, I'm going to make it 1/1 that bounces a permanent and draws me a card.
Yep.
I will win this game by the end of turn 6. Or you will scoop up all of your cards because you are sad.
Yeah.
These are the only options.
Yeah. So
when
I was going through these, I picked out 13 of them. I don't think there's a limit on how many you can have in your deck, but you have to have at least 10.
Mm-hmm.
I went through and I pulled out the ones that weren't particularly good. And then I also pulled out the ones that were situational. Like some of these are good and splashy, but they rely on a board state.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured because there's inherent randomness already baked into these, you wanted ones that would be as universally good as possible. So there's 1 or 2 that I think there's one that gives +1/+0 to your team, and there's another one that gives +2/+0 to your team. Well, if you don't have a team, they don't do anything. So I didn't include them in this list because I didn't think that that's not how you should be building with these, I don't think.
No, there's already the variance of what 3 are going to be the 3 that you're using that game.
No, that's sticker sheets. These you get access to all 10. You shuffle them, and then when something opens an attraction, you get the top one. Okay,
so you have 1 in 10.
Yep.
Right, so you don't know which ones you're going to get off the top.
Yeah, it's just like drawing a card. That's what you get.
So you want to make sure that you don't want to take the ones that are situational.
Right.
Because there's already so much randomness on well, if I get the one that is busted, off the top, then that's great. But if I get the one that is +1/+0 and I have no team, like you said, you just didn't make an attraction.
Right.
Right, you didn't get anything.
Yep. So that's kind of how I picked these. They're most of them are more kind of value added over time than like big splashy effect.
Mhm.
So
So
that's
the
where
first
we
one we
are.
have here
Yep.
is Balloon Stand.
Mm-hmm.
It has two numbers that are highlighted. So whatever ones you get, you're gonna have. It's always 6 is always a hit, and then one other number.
Yep.
And you can like, if you hit the number, you make a 1/1 balloon token,
Or
or you can sacrifice a balloon and give a creature flying.
yeah, I don't think that second part's necessarily relevant. Although, like occasionally it might be. Give your Gurmag Angler flying for a turn and
Yeah.
block a, whatever. But just a free 1/1 for hopefully doing not a whole lot of legwork is pretty good.
Mhm.
A third of the time.
Yeah. Again, like if you were playing like a legacy game
Mm-hmm.
and every third turn you got a 1/1
Yep.
for doing literal nothing,
Yep.
right? That card is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, what's the next one we got here? Because I don't know all of these.
That's all right. Next up, we have Bounce Chamber. This is also a 2-number attraction, so it's like Brian said, all of these hit on 6s and all of them miss on 1s. So it's however like other numbers are highlighted, I guess. But this is all just like the last one. This is a two hitter, so a third of the time. And whenever you hit, you return a creature you don't control with the lowest toughness among creatures you don't control to its owner's hand. So if you hit, it bounces one of your opponent's creatures, and it can't ever hit your stuff.
Yeah, like again, if you get to unsummon a creature for free every third turn.
Yep.
Like even if it's like not their best creature, and I know like sometimes it's like not gonna do anything because like it bounces their Delver and they have a Murktide Regent.
Yep.
But still, you bounce the Delver for free.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yep, I agree.
Concession Stand is the food token one, right?
Yep, another 2-number one, and when you hit it, makes a food token. Now, this one is probably one of the worst out of the ones I picked because a food token's not really worth a whole lot, but game objects can be powerful, so
yes,
it's worth looking at.
Say. We've definitely seen that, and I guess we've like kind of discounted the fact that like attractions are just artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
So right, like Urza, Lord High Artificer, still gets to tap them for blue.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right, like you can just sacrifice them with Deadly Dispute or 2 Deadly Dispute.
Oh, yeah.
Like so, there's still like things you can do with them.
They make you a construct if you sack one to an Oni Anvil.
Yeah, like there's just a number of like free game objects are always powerful.
They count for Metalcraft.
They do.
Yep.
Galv blast someone. All right. Next up.
Costume Shop.
Ooh.
You may put a sticker on a non-land permanent you own, and this is a 3-hit, so it's half of the time.
This one might be worse than the food token one.
Well, I mean, yeah, probably it's more situational, but I mean, if stickers are free,
stickers. Yeah.
Although I guess you still have to pay the ticket cost, though, right?
Yes, because
okay, so
you can never place a sticker.
Then.
You can never place a sticker without paying the ticket cost.
Yeah. All right, so this one might be worse then. So there's 2 down out of the 13. You've almost got your 10-card deck picked.
There you
go.
Next
after
up.
costume shop, we have Foam Weapons Kiosk. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That creature gains vigilance until end of turn.
It's Homestead Courage for free.
For free. Yep.
1 out of every 3 turns.
Mm-hmm.
Seems reasonable.
Yep.
Like you need the build around is have a creature.
Yeah.
Which seems doable.
Yeah. The reason why I left this one instead of the ones that like buff your team is that it's permanent and vigilance. Mm-hmm. So like the counter sticks around. Like, I mean, even if you put this on something stupid like a, I don't know, Stitcher Supplier or Bloodghast or something, like it makes it bigger. It's just gonna be bigger. Whereas with the other one, like you might not even want to attack the turn that your team gets pumped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it might not be worth it. This is always going to leave behind some value as long as you have a creature.
Yep. And that's a 2-hitter, so a third of the
Yes.
time. Then we have Fortune Teller. This is a 3-hitter, so half of the time, and you scry one. You're always going to want to scry one.
Powerful effect.
Yeah.
Like, great.
Yep.
Remember the original Thassa?
Mm-hmm.
That just was scry one every upkeep?
Yep.
Card was good.
Mm-hmm.
Was, mind you. Was.
At one point in time.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yep. Then we have Hall of Mirrors. So this one is a little conditional, but not as conditional as some of the rest. But it says it's a 2-hitter, so a third of the time. You choose a creature you control, and each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until the end of turn, except it isn't legendary if the chosen creature is legendary.
So, like if you have a board, you just get like your best creature.
Well, so what if you have like a young pyromancer that's made like 3 elementals, and then you brainstorm, and yeah, you make 4 elementals off of your brainstorm.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Totally workable.
Yep. And that's not like an obscene board to have either. So
yeah, and like
Hall of Mirrors was kind of cool.
And again, this was like, I think the pre-order was 49 cents or 75 cents or something.
Yep. Or if you turn all your Delvers into Murktides or...
Oh, yeah. Then you like exile some cards and all your Delvers that are Murktides get way bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems good.
Yep. Haunted House is the next one. It's a 2-hitter. And when you hit, you return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, and you exile it at the beginning of your next end step. So as long as there's something in your yard, you're going to get value off of it.
Yeah.
You mentioned hitting like a Gristle Daddy or something off of this.
My Reanimator Attractions deck. No, I think that it is... Again, they're all kind of borderline, but like...
Yeah, but I think like we're going to get into the enablers afterwards. I just kind of wanted to outline like what your attraction deck might look like.
What you could actually do, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if the enablers are good enough, like these are kind of a free roll. So if you can like a free roll, effects. Like randomly maybe get something out of your graveyard, seems pretty good for no mana investment.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Information Booth, another 2-hitter. And this one draws a card when it hits.
Hey, every third turn, your Howling Mind's untapped.
Mm-hmm.
Seems good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, like this is like drawing an extra card for free is like the kind of thing that like snowballs quickly.
Oh yeah, super quickly.
So, pick a beetle.
Pick a Beeble.
Beeble.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is a 3-hitter, and when it hits, you roll a 6-sided die, put a number of luck counters on Pick a Beeble equal to the result, and make a treasure token. Then if there are 6 or more luck counters on Pick a Beeble, claim the prize. And the prize is make 2 treasure tokens, sacrifice this, and open an attraction.
So it's like a little bit of ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Then it becomes like, I guess, a lot of bit of ramp.
And then replaces itself with something else.
You make 3 treasures that turn.
Yep.
And, also, works very well with Barbarian class and what is it? A Pixie Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because, right, if you have the high number version of it, those help you hit.
Right.
And then on the visit, they help you put more counters on it.
Right.
Right. So, like, in theory, like, you would get this the second time you hit.
Mm-hmm.
You would get the 2 treasures in the new attraction.
Yep.
So.
For basically free.
For free.
Yep. Then we have Storybook Ride. This is a 3-hitter. And you exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of attractions you've visited this turn. and you may play those cards this turn. At the beginning of the next end step, if any of those cards remain exiled, put them on the bottom of your library in any order.
So this is better than draw a card.
Yes. Well,
Even if it's
multiple cards potentially.
Yeah. So it's worse than draw a card if like X is 1, but as soon as X is 2, right, that's just great.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is another one that like you hit once or twice and the game ends.
Yeah, you just buried your opponent. You visit this thing and flip like, I don't know, a brainstorm and a lightning bolt.
Yeah. But like it's on some level it's escape to the wilds.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, you know, you only get them for a temporary amount of time, but that's still like if you flip any 3 cards and you're like land and anything else, like
you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, like you're ecstatic. You're like, oh, awesome! Like I just drew 2 cards. I guess I get to win now.
Yep.
Like I spent no mana, drew 2 cards, and now I'll play like expressive iteration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. This is probably comparable to free expressive iteration.
Yeah.
Because you're probably gonna play, like, if you hit 3 times, you're gonna play 2 of them. And that's kind of like, you know, exiling 1 and putting 1 into your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't have to pay the mana for this up front.
People are gonna be bringing meltdowns in to get rid of
get rid of attractions. I wonder what happens if you get like Hercules recalled. They go in your hand and then just stay there the rest of the game.
Maybe can they not? Like, it's probably a weird rules thing where they can't go to your hand. Maybe if they leave the battlefield, they just go to the junkyard.
I don't know. Maybe.
I just said the junkyard, like unironically.
Oh, I forgot that's actually what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go to the junkyard.
Swinging Ship. This is a 2-hitter, and after the first combat phase this turn, there's an additional combat phase, and then you get to untap all your creatures that attack this turn. Yeah. This is a free. Is it like a 4 or 5 mana spell?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would like to untap my Ragavan and swing again.
Yes, but like, if you think about it like that, that effect costs 4 to 5 mana.
Yeah, and usually at 4 mana, there's a downside. Like, was it Combat Celebrant? Like it stays tapped.
He was 3.
He was 3?
Yeah, he was 2 in a red. He stayed tapped.
Yeah.
Or she stayed tapped. The thing stayed tapped.
The Celebrator.
But this is like, you know, again, like if every 3rd turn you get an extra combat step, you probably only need 1 extra combat step and you win the game.
Right.
See, Swinging Ship hadn't been spoiled when stuff was out.
Then we have Trash Bin. I think you're going to like this one. It's
a
2-hitter. Mill 2 cards and return a card at random from your graveyard to your hand. So this is...
I like milling cards.
Well, this is mill 2 cards, draw a card.
It is. And like, I know that like random feels bad, but that's just what drawing a card is.
Right.
Is a random card out of your deck.
Right.
And like, this is presumably most of the cards in your graveyard were things that you had like cast previously.
Mm-hmm. Or used, like a wasteland or something.
So there's like presumably a higher propensity to those cards that are useful.
Right.
So yeah, no, this is also, so there's 3 of them that are just some variation on draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that can't possibly go wrong.
Right. So that is the extent of the ones that I thought were worth an include. Like there being 10 of them in you have to run at least 10 of them. Like the bar, I think, changes a little bit because of that. Where you can afford to like put 1 or 2 that are like, if they're just free value, you can afford to play 1 or 2 that maybe aren't quite as powerful. But I tried to pick ones that were more consistent.
You probably wouldn't play the sticker one.
Right.
That probably gets us down.
Yeah.
So, but like, I think, you know,
unless stickers are as much
busted.
Of a free roll as these are.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that these are all like, you could make a 10 attraction deck that you'd be happy with pretty much any of the attractions that you flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think that is like the key is you want it to be like, regardless of what attraction flips, that you're going to be happy that you have that free value.
Yeah.
So
next we have some of the we can talk about this next thing real quick. I forgot about this.
yes.
I went through to check and see how many of these were pauper legal, and unfortunately there's not enough to make a deck in pauper. There's only 8 of them.
Gavin Verhees was not consulted.
Either that or they did it on purpose.
Maybe.
Like if this
Maybe
kind of
they're
just turned into Initiative 2.0 or whatever, maybe they were like, yeah, let's not do this.
Maybe. Like that would be like, so maybe Gavin was like, don't do this. Yeah. Could be. Like we don't have to ban all these cards in like 6 months.
Yeah. I think I've got like 6 or so of these the enablers, and half of those are at common. So like the ones that I picked out that might be eternal playable are at common. So maybe that was enough to scare people off.
Maybe.
The first one is Command Performance. 1 in a blue for a sorcery. It is a common. And you get to choose 2. Open an attraction, roll to visit an attraction, you get 2 tickets, or you put a sticker on a non-land permanent you own. And you get to pick 2 of those. So you can open an attraction and then roll for it, or get 2 tickets and then put a sticker on something, or some combination of those.
Yeah. I mean, it basically reads like, worst case is, open attraction and then visit that attraction, right, for 2 mana, or ticket, put a sticker on something, right? So if like 2 tickets and then putting a sticker on something is worth a card, then command conformance is reasonable. Yeah. Or if your attractions are good enough that like visiting them is putting one into play and visiting one is worth a card.
Yeah.
Fine. I really hope that we're not going to end up building like legacy attractions.
Well, and like I said, it depends on what the downside is. One of the cards, at least one of the cards we're going to talk about, like I don't think there is a downside to having it in your mid-rangey value 4-color pile deck.
I agree.
If there's just no downside, then like I don't understand why you would give up the admittedly not a ton of value, but there's value to be had.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, what's up next?
Next up is Deadbeat Attendant. 2 mana for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, open an attraction. Not the most powerful thing in the world, but if you're doing attractions, this is probably about the rate. Like the last card we looked at was 2 mana for a sorcery that made an attraction and then rolled it. This is 2 mana for a sorcery that makes a 1/1 and opens an attraction.
Yeah.
So this like kind of might be the rate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's close. Again, if your attractions are good enough.
Yeah. And this is the one that I think is just kind of free value, and what might make people, bring an attractions deck to a legacy event where maybe they might not have otherwise. This is a lifetime pass holder, single black mana for a 2/1 zombie. It enters the battlefield tapped. When it dies, you open an attraction. And when you roll to visit your attractions, if you roll a 6, you return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's just kind of free roll value for attractions. Like you play this guy, and the next turn you Cabal Therapy.
Oh, yeah.
And like you get the value off your therapy, and then also get to start the attraction game rolling. Like if you do this on turn 1, therapy turn 2, like you're gonna get attractions values for the rest of the game for free.
I had not thought of him as Veteran Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very close to Veteran Explorer.
We got another card for Nick Fit.
I mean, that's the point of Nick Fit, right?
Every card goes
Everything
in Nick
fits.
Fit. Everything fits. This is a nice fit.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can sec them for mana to a Phyrexian Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff to do with them. And I think like the power levels, obviously you're not going to play this in like a combo deck. You're not going to play it in Storm or anything. And you're probably not going to play it in like an aggro deck. And I don't know that he fits in like a prison deck, but any of the like mid-range value piles, I think he'll be pretty good for value over the course of the game.
The Strifo pile or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Then we have Coming Attraction. It's a 2 and a green for a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tapped, shuffle, open an attraction.
So this is one of those cards that is almost, they just stuck open attraction on it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, because the going rate for get a land on the battlefield tapped is 3.
It is.
Right? That is the rate in, like, Magic. Right now it's 3. So, like, this is just open an attraction for no mana.
Basically. Yeah, it's a cultivate that opens an attraction instead of draws you a land.
I mean, there's the card in Dominaria United that is 2 and a green, get a land on the battlefield tapped.
Yeah.
That has like kicker 1 on the light to make 2 tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is that unkicked version of that card.
Right. Yeah, and instead of kicker, it has open an attraction.
Yeah, for no mana as opposed to 1 on the white. So yeah, this
Correct.
is like, if this isn't common, I could see why maybe they didn't want to put like attractions in at common.
Yeah, I mean the 2 mana zombie was also a common, and that the 2 mana sorcery was also a common.
Yeah, so. Saltai attractions.
Yep. SaltaiAttractions.deck.
Yeah.
Then we have DK, Finder of the Lost. 1 blue-black for a 1/4. It's a zombie. And when it enters the battlefield, you open an attraction. Whenever you roll a 2, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain a life. Whenever you roll a 4, you may tap or untap target artifact or creature. And whenever you roll a 6, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
This is the one I went hard on.
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking that I didn't realize that we were only going to have, we wouldn't be able to like have for Brad a PDH attractions deck.
Oh.
Right, because this is your PDH attractions commander.
Attractions commander, yeah.
But like, worst case scenario, it pitches the Force of Will.
It does.
Right, like it's right at that like a 1/4 that's like gonna draw you a card sometimes or whatever. Like, it's probably not good enough, but it's close.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can like think about it.
Yeah.
Also, like, you know, if you wanted like attractions in your cube.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Right, like this is definitely like a cube card. Like, I bought this version and the fancy version.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. For a quarter a piece or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they are.
Whatever they are.
What do you think about this next guy?
I don't know. Like, so it's the most dangerous gamer, which I guess is a play on man being the most dangerous game.
Yeah.
So it's 2 black-green for a 2/2 with Death Touch. And when it enters the battlefield or attacks, open an attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever you open an attraction, put a counter on the most dangerous gamer. And whenever you destroy a permanent, whenever you claim a prize on an attraction,
yeah,
destroy target permanent.
Only one of the attractions that we talked about has a prize on it.
Yeah.
I think the rest of them are all acorn.
Yeah. So this is a 4 mana 3/3.
Mm-hmm. With that touch.
With that touch. And would attack the following turn as a 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and at that point has opened you 2 attractions.
It is right at the edge. Again, NickFit attractions.deck.
We'll have to wait until these get on Moto, and we'll have to popularize NickFit attractions.
There we go.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That's what we'll call it.
There we go. But it's like super close.
Yeah.
And like that's, I'm gonna say that for like this and the last one, like the third close. Because like, I don't know, I didn't look at Mince and Boo and go like, oh,
Legacy playable.
Legacy warps the format.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize that when you down ticket, you draw cards equal to the creature's power.
Yeah.
Not just a card.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you sack the hamster and you draw 4 cards? Oh my. But like this is like a modern Magic card with way too much text.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Sultai attractions could like be a thing.
Well, like most of the value pile decks are some form of Sultai.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is like, you're competing with like Uro.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know
like
that they're
Teferi.
not, on the same power level as Uro, but
yeah,
if you can find room in your deck for a couple lifetime pass holders and like one of this guy,
yeah,
or maybe you run some sort of like a Living Wish package where you're like, oh, this game's gonna be super grindy. Let me get an attraction out of my sideboard.
yeah. Let me go get this guy and whatever he hits. Like if they don't have a removal spell, I get 2 attractions, and then that value will win the game.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like Depp's Living Wish for the most dangerous gamer. Oh, Plan C, the most dangerous gamer.
Yeah, right. You're not gonna get the 4 mana in depths.
No. Not if things are going right.
No.
And then what is our last one?
This is Mira the Magnificent. This one might be a little bit closer on power level. It's 2 blue-red for a 2/4. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, open an attraction. Like, I think that's it. Like, if that's all this card did, that might be close.
I mean, I did not buy this one. Maybe I should have, because again, worst case scenario, it pitches to Force.
Yeah.
But like, you play this and then protect it with a Force.
Mm-hmm. Or a Daze, or both.
Yeah, and yeah, you get an attraction.
Yeah.
Like that could be good enough.
Yep. It also has X tap, exile target instant or sorcery card with mana value X from your graveyard, and choose an attraction you control that doesn't have a midway counter on it. Put a midway counter on it. Whenever you visit that attraction, copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost.
So you just like put a brainstorm.
Yep.
Underneath your
draw card, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And like you could do this, so the attractions trigger in your upkeep.
No, they trigger like a saga.
So in your upkeep, you could. It doesn't say as sorcery.
It does not.
So like in your upkeep, you could just dump a brainstorm or a ponder under your attraction, and now you're like rolling for, whatever, right? You're rolling for like getting the hit off your attraction plus then casting a brainstorm or a ponder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you win that game pretty easily.
Yeah.
And it's in good old Pixie Guide or whatever, and Barbarian Class's color, so they did it. If nothing else, like Commander fodder for sure.
Mm-hmm. No, I think this one's pretty close though.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So then we have.
Well, do you want to wrap up?
Sure.
Kind of closing thoughts on attractions, because hopefully we don't have to talk about Unfinity too much after this show.
Hopefully not.
Having seen like the ones that we think might, or the ones that I think, might be playable in some of the enablers.
The enablers are all like. They are the mana cost you would expect them to be if they didn't have the open an attraction thing.
Yeah.
Right. So like the Golgari guy, most dangerous gamer.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Right? Like
and had death touch.
Like
yeah. That's what
it would cost 4 mana.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, you're also getting the additional value of attractions.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, at what point do you need, like, probably having 2 or 3 out on the battlefield so that you're kind of getting value, presumably, like, every turn?
Yeah.
Now, if you're not building hard around the, like, you know, barbarian class, whether pixie guide or whatever, maybe having a spread of numbers
So you
so that
get
you are
some sort
not,
of value every turn.
as opposed to like banking on you're just going to trigger them every single turn.
Yeah.
There's an argument there, but I also think that like you just want to trigger them every single turn.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you can set it up that like if they're good enough and then you can cast them every turn or trigger them every turn, like you just win off of free stuff.
So the Mira there, I don't think you necessarily have to build around attractions to
No.
play that card. That's also just, extra value on a card. But it is in the correct colors to build around.
Right, like if nothing else, like you definitely are gonna see someone who's going to build the like Mira commander deck.
Yeah.
With like instants and sorceries and then attractions, and then you just throw those 2 cards in.
Yeah. But what do you think about like some of the other stuff being just free roll value? Like the rampant growth or the, gutter bones or
I mean, it really depends on like how snowbally the attractions are.
Mhm.
Right? Like if like Gutter Bones is not playable in Legacy.
Right.
Right? But if a Gutter
Well,
Bones
right, but
that
Bloodghast is though. And this might be
yeah,
closer to Bloodghast than Gutter Bones because you don't have to pay to bring it back.
yeah, yeah, but it doesn't happen as frequently. It happens 1 out of every 6 turns unless you're doing shenanigans.
True.
Um,
Well, 1 out of
but
every 3 turns. There's none that are just like a 1 in 6 shot, right?
well, no, the zombie only comes back on a 6.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's not like if you visit an attraction,
Yeah.
he comes back. You have to hit a 6. But, but like if we find that if you have 2 or 3 of these on the battlefield,
Mm-hmm.
the incremental value that you get just becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
Then all of these become playable, right? Probably not the green ramp spell.
Right. That's more like EDH or when I was making this list, I had a jotted down rarities too. That one's a common, so I was thinking EDH or Pauper.
But like if you like most dangerous gamer, lifetime pass holder, like if you played like if you were like full on like 4 pass holders, Cabal therapies, Phyrexian Tower kind of deal, and you're just going hard on that with a couple with a couple most dangerous gamers, and then you're like, oh, I can consistently have 2 or 3 attractions open by turn 3. Maybe that's good enough, even if you don't have to build around it.
Yep. All right, moving on. We are visiting the wonderful world of stickers.
Stickers.
Again, I went through and pulled out the best ones, I think. Although these are a lot more subjective.
Yes, I would say that no, I didn't buy any of these.
Yeah.
And maybe I will if the prices go down on TCG Player. If these are like a penny, I will buy some. My thought process being, if these are at all in any way, shape, or form eternal playable, right? How sticky are these stickers going to stay?
Not very.
And so, right now, at some point in a year, right, it's not nearly as much fun if you are taking a little piece of paper and putting it on your card. Like you want to stick a squirrel on your card.
Right.
You don't want to just be like you want to stick a toque, as the Canadians say, a toboggan on your Urza. Right? You don't want to just like have a little like piece of paper that says like hat.
Beanie.
Yeah, beanie, and like throw it on your Urza, right? So these might have like a finite lifespan,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone's going to be willing to pay for them, maybe.
Maybe.
Now, that's what I'm saying. If they go to like a penny,
Yeah.
2 cents, sure. Like, I'm
Little
not
to no
pre-ordering.
downside.
Yeah, I'm not pre-ordering these for 20 cents a piece.
Yeah. When I was going through these, I pretty much ignored the names and the pictures because they're not
Mm-hmm.
super relevant outside of like extreme corner cases where like you need to get around a pithing needle, so you put a cannonball on your whatever.
Yeah, you're Dark Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah. So I mainly focused on the abilities and to a lesser extent the power toughness. I think the power toughness ones are costed to the point where they're a little bit prohibitive or not good enough. And they're also more conditional. Like it depends on what your creature is as to like which power and toughness might be good for that creature. And because with these, you get 3 random ones and that's all you get access to for the whole game, it's a little bit more random than the attractions where you might get through, half of the ones that you picked.
Yeah.
So I mainly focused on the text boxes. And the first one we have here is Urza's Dark Cannonball. For 2 tickets, it gives double Exalted. And for 3 tickets, it gives Shadow. I don't know what like the actual in-game tempo or card cost of tickets are going to be, but double Exalted is pretty good. And Shadow's really good. So
yeah. And then we've got what? Misunderstood Trapeze Elf?
Misunderstood Trapeze Elf, yep. It's 2 tickets for whenever you cast a spell, this creature gets +X/+X, where X is the amount of generic mana in that spell's mana cost, which can kind of get out of hand. You imagine having this on like a Delver and then you cast a Murktide.
Ugh.
That's a lot of X. And then for 3 tickets, it gains hexproof.
Yeah.
And if you have 4 tickets laying around, it can be a 6/6.
Hexproof. Giant beater.
That's right.
Okay.
Then we have Happy Dead Squirrel. 2 tickets for tap to add 2. Spend this mana only to cast non-creature spells, so it makes your creature a Power Stone. And for 3 tickets, it gets Infect. Also, this one is one of the ones that might be decent for power toughness. 2 tickets gets you 3/2, or 4 tickets gets you 4/7, which are kind of reasonable stats.
Yeah.
Deep Fried Plague Mirror is 2 tickets for whenever this creature attacks Scry 1, or 3 tickets for when this permanent leaves the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, kind of cool. This one's also pretty decent for the power and toughness. It's 3 tickets for 4/5 or 4 tickets for 8/4.
Okay.
Sticky Kavu Daredevil. These are like the worst names to read.
Yes.
2 tickets for when this permanent dies, you may return target creature to its owner's hand. Or 4 tickets for whenever this creature attacks, creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn.
Okay. I'm thinking of these, like looking at the enablers, which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are common.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking them as like popper cards.
Yeah, or cube cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I mean, we can just skip to the enablers if you want to. I don't know if there's much point in going through these sticker sheets. I can make the list of decent ones like available to people.
Yeah, I can throw them in the show notes. We've kind of gone over enough. They get like the vibe.
Yeah.
All your hard work just zipping by.
Nah, that's fine. I really didn't feel like reading them all anyway.
Okay.
All right. So first one we have for the enablers is a Park Bleeder. That's with a T, not a D. 2 and a white for a 2/2 goat. Whenever another creature you own enters the battlefield, you get a ticket. and you can pay a white and tap it to put a sticker on a creature you own that entered the battlefield this turn.
Reasonable.
Yep.
It's oh gosh, like the inspiring orator.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of for life, it's for tickets.
Yep. Robo Pinata is 2 and a white for a 2/1 artifact creature clown robot. When it dies, you choose one. You either get 2 tickets or you put a sticker on a non-land permanent you control. And this one's a common.
Okay.
And it's not filled with delicious candy, and it's not a trick.
And it's fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. It's filled with stickers.
Yep.
We've already did command performance.
Yep. Also a common. So if you're wanting to put stickers on your stuff in Pauper, this one might be right up your alley. And Prize Wall. 1 in a blue for an 0/4 defender. 1 in a blue, or just a blue. Tap it, you get a ticket. Or 4 in a blue, you get to put a sticker on something. Activate only as a sorcery.
Grindy ticket deck. Block.
Yep.
Get a ticket.
Minotaur de Force. 1 in a red for a 2/1 with haste. And when it enters the battlefield, you get a ticket, and then you get to put a sticker on something.
I mean, a 2/1 with haste is just like, that is the stats for 2. That is the stats for that card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so all the other text is just free.
Yeah. I mean, I think the cheapest sticker cost is 2. So the 1 ticket doesn't matter. But if you're trying to get around, some other effect by needing to change the name or put a hat on your artwork, those don't cost tickets.
Fair, yeah.
So, and what's this next one we got?
This is Blorbeeben Buddy.
Yeah.
He's an alien guest. He's a 1/1 trampler. And green tap, you get a ticket.
Yep.
It's
weird he's a 1/1 trampler.
I mean, he's kind of like, what's his name?
Oh, I guess what you're supposed to do is put a sticker on him.
Yeah, to make him bigger.
Yeah.
He's like, what is it?
Wily Bandar.
Brushwag? Or Brushwag?
Yeah.
From the from Ikoria, where you're supposed to mutate onto him because he's a 1-mana 1/1 trampler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just like put the 8/4 sticker on this guy.
Yep. Go to town, little buddy.
Go get him. All right. Chicken Troop?
Chicken Troop.
For 1 in the green for a 2/2. Hey, congratulations, you are a grizzly bear.
No, it's a chicken.
You're a grizzly chicken. Has ward 2, and when it enters the battlefield, you get a ticket. Mm-hmm. Then you may put a sticker on an online permanent you control.
Yep.
So again, like, reasonable stats and mana cost.
Yeah, this guy and the previous guy were both commons also.
Yeah. And then,
just in case you want to double up with attractions and stickers, Costume Shop from up above is an attraction that when it hits, you get to put a sticker on something.
Yeah.
Although I guess if you're trying to do this in Pauper, you can't really play this because there's not enough.
Yeah, but I mean, if stickers are like energy good,
mm-hmm.
then because I mean, I know like the power and toughness is a pretty big ask, but
mm-hmm.
like if like the stickers are semi-free,
yeah,
and then it's like you get to give a creature permanently or perpetually, +2 +1.
Yeah.
Right, you would do that.
Well, there's a heroic deck in Pauper, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, would stickers like?
Well,
heroic is only spells, right?
It is, but like if you double exalted, if you put the double exalted sticker on something in your heroic deck, like that's pretty good.
Or shadow.
Yeah, or shadow.
It's like you have shadow now.
Yeah.
Get in there, little buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So then, we have some cards that are just kind of like chilling.
Yeah, I didn't go through like some of the ones that we had previously talked about. Like I think way back when Unfinity got spoiled, we talked a little bit about Saw in Half. So I didn't really want to rehash some of that stuff. So I just picked out 3 quick cards here for us to go over. The first is Embiggen, green mana for an instant. And until end of turn, non-Brushwag creature gets +1/+1 for each super type, card type, and subtype it has.
Okay, so super types are like snow and world.
Yeah,
right?
Are there any others?
Like legendary isn't a super type, is it?
That might be.
And then card type,
It's
tribal,
artifact creature.
instance.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then subtype is, whatever. Whatever.
What do you mean,
whatever kind of guy it is. So subtype is
gotcha.
like
dwarf artificer
human
would be
soldier. Yeah.
He would have 2 subtypes.
Right. So
Do you know why it's non-brushwag?
Well, because changelings would be infinite, right?
Yes.
Or nearly.
Mark Rosewater said that it was that they didn't want it to work with changelings, and they thought brushwag was the funniest creature type.
Makes sense.
So, changeling outcast into embiggen it.
Ready, go.
Combo nation.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably +2, or it's like giant growth a lot of times.
Yeah, I think like fail case is probably giant growth because it's creature and then race job.
Yeah.
But what about like bladed agent? That's a Phyrexian human rogue creature.
Oh.
So this is a 1 mana +4/+4.
That's good. And is Glistener Elf just is it a Phyrexian elf?
It's it's more than that. It's a Phyrexian something elf, I think.
Oh man. We both
it is a Phyrexian elf warrior. So it is also +4/+4.
I mean, that's good. I mean, Might of Old Crosa.
Yep.
Like makes you telegraph it. This you don't have to.
Right. Yeah, I mean +4/+4 is pretty good.
And what does oh gosh, Inkmoth Nexus?
Oh, that's a artifact.
It is a land.
It stays a land. So it's an artifact creature land.
It becomes a Blinkmoth artifact
It's
creature.
a Phyrexian Blinkmoth.
Oh, it is a Phyrexian Blinkmoth?
Yeah, so it's a Phyrexian Blinkmoth artifact creature land.
Oh, so reading the new version of the card, it doesn't say Phyrexian on it.
The Oracle text says 1 Inkmoth Nexus becomes a 1/1 Phyrexian Blinkmoth artifact creature.
Okay. That's weird that like the Double Masters version doesn't say that it's a Phyrexian.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the Oracle text.
I believe you. But like it's just so it's +5/+5?
Yep. That's almost dead.
Yeah, that's real good.
Yep.
So there you go. There's
Legacy Infect gets a new toy in Embiggen.
There you go. Because I mean, all the creatures you want to pump. I guess what is now we just have to check what is Noble Hierarch.
Noble Hierarch is
Creature Human Druid.
Yeah, creature human druid.
So, giant growth.
Yep. Yeah, fail case is giant growth.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Embiggen, get in there, buddy. And it's
get in there.
Common.
It is a common.
We talked at one point that Infect was a thing in Pauper, right?
Yeah, and then we got sent screenshots of it like winning games.
Yeah.
So there you go. Pauper, Infect.
Pauper.
We got our hand on the finger on the pulse of of Pauper shenanigans, and Embiggen is where it's at.
It's also kind of a cool name. I'm gonna Embiggen it.
Yeah. I feel like it's been like a meme name and then they just like made it.
Probably. It would not surprise me. I don't I guess I don't recall embiggening things, but
Yeah. Zap Brannigan.
Zap Brannigan looks just like him.
So Captain Rex Nebula for 1 red white. He's a 2/2 legendary creature, human pilot employee. He would get 5 plus 5 plus 5
5
from
plus
Embiggen.
5. That's right.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-land permanent that you control becomes a vehicle artifact until end of turn. It has base power and toughness. Its base power and toughness are each equal to its mana value. It has crew 2 with crash land. Whenever this vehicle deals damage, roll a 6-sided die. If the result is equal to the vehicle's mana value, then it deals that much damage to any target. Then sacrifice this vehicle. Whew.
Yeah, that's a lot of text on that guy.
Yes. So I guess there's like 2 things, right? Like, so anything that is like big
Mhm.
that becomes a vehicle, like with things with delve,
Yeah.
break this, but then they don't get thrown, right? Like,
True.
so like you don't get to fling it, but you just have it. So right, you like delve out your Gurmag Angler, and this gives your Gurmag Angler +2/+2.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you delve out a Murktide Regent, it gives your because your Murktide Regent's of 2/2 base power toughness. This gives it plus
A lot.
7/7.
Yep.
Because Murktide is 7 blue. So +7/7 plus however many counters are on it. Again, it never gets flung, but at that point it doesn't matter.
Still flies.
Still flies, yeah, it doesn't lose any of that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Like interesting.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know
this
if it's
is-
good, but it's funny.
This is also like again, like it's a reasonable commander card.
Yeah.
Right? Like you just have a bunch of artifacts, like your deck is just full of like Spine of Ishaz or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You attack with it, and I guess
Hop on
that
in.
was not one you but that's not one you can throw.
Yeah.
But like something like Ichor Wellspring.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a fun
You
one
like-
to throw.
You attack with it, you deal 2, you throw.
Yep.
You fling it, you draw a card.
Yep.
Seems reasonable.
Yep.
And he can crew it the turn he comes out.
That is true. The last one up is Magar of the Magic Strings. This was one of the ones that was spoiled early, but I don't think we ever talked about it.
No.
It's also just a whole bunch of value on a card, regardless of it being like, an uncard or whatever. It's 1 black-red for a 3/3 Minotaur Performer. And you pay 1 black-red. Note the name of an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard and put it onto the battlefield face down. It's a 3/3 creature with whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may create a copy of the card with the noted name, and you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. And if this creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. So it makes a morph of an instant, or basically a 3/3 morph of an instant or sorcery. And whenever that creature connects, you get to cast it for free.
Why do you have to note the name?
Probably because you can't have... It's like a hidden information thing.
Yeah, but like you could show them like it's a lightning bolt through you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess they don't want them to know what card to block. Like I don't know which one this is. Kind of like with morphs.
Well, no, because like with morphs, you are supposed to keep them in order so that like one of the rules around morphs is that you have to keep them. You have to arrange your battlefield in such a way where your opponent can know which card came off of the top of your deck or your hand or whatever in what order.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but it's
I mean,
how the
like
card's
it's
templated.
right, like in like a Grixis control deck, right? This is just like you said. The first one costs 6 mana, but then it's like 6 mana for a 3/3 and a 3/3 that will like brainstorm you.
Or Thoughtseize your opponent or something.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is also like oh, what was the name of that card? Is it Kess?
Mm-hmm.
That like each upkeep like would like randomly pick a card
Yeah.
and you could cast it. This
Yeah.
is kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a million years ago, Kess was legacy playable and it cost 4 mana.
Right.
This being 3 mana and like a reasonable body.
It's also a
Right, like-
Minotaur. You could didgeridoo it into play.
Oh yeah. There you go. Somewhere right now, PK is brewing. It's like, what if I didgeridoo this in, but I discarded Enter the Infinite earlier in the game, or Peered the Abyss or something.
Mind's Desire.
My hit you, Mind's Desire. 1.
No. You like Lightning Bolt Inquisition, then connect with your
fair.
Mind's Desire.
Fair, for clear the world, get 3.
Yeah.
Like this could be like a one of in like a legacy deck. Like it works.
Mm-hmm.
It does what legacy decks want to do.
Yeah.
Right. Like they're gonna have 3 to 6 1-mana discard spells, 4 bolts, 4 ponders, 4 brainstorms.
Yeah.
And then like whatever collection of ham sandwiches you wish to end the game with.
It is a ham sandwich.
More of roast beef, but yeah. But yeah, basically, he is the sandwich of choice.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, this is a sandwich I want to win the game with, he'll be like, thank you. I've always wanted to be a sandwich.
Yep.
And like you can bring him back. Like you can play like 1 Unearth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, you killed my guy. Unearth him. He's back,
actually,
baby.
this works really good with Unearth because you can cycle it to your graveyard and then turn your Unearth into a creature.
Yeah, and then and then like if they have to kill your Unearth because you just get them pregnant.
Just get him back.
Just get him back, yeah. Killed your guy is dead. Attack. Oh wait. So they have to know what the card is because you have to target the card.
Yeah.
So okay, so like okay. So they know what all the cards are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand the note the name, but okay.
Well, it's so that you don't have to keep flipping it over. Like it can't be on the battlefield face up to know what it is, but your opponent has to know what it is. Because if it's on the battlefield face up, it'd be like Lightning Bolt is on my battlefield as a 3/3, and that's not something that can happen in the rules.
Gotcha. So it's just okay. It's kind of a morph.
Yeah.
Kind of a mana. Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
So you would like write Lightning Bolt and like put Lightning Bolt on the back of your card.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you would probably just make your Lightning Bolt face up on your battlefield as a 3/3 and to hell with the rules, but...
Yeah,
yes.
But when you're in the finals of the Worcester Open and an SCG tournament, they're not going to let you just play with your Lightning Bolt face up because, chat would lose its mind.
Right. Even though everybody knew what was going on.
I don't understand how the Lightning Bolt was face up.
Yeah.
It's like, do you see the little Minotaur guy?
Yeah.
That's how the Lightning Bolt is face up on the battlefield.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, this one can be whatever ham sandwich you wish to finish with.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be I don't think the Unfinity cards are going to be on Magic Online at all, right?
I mean, it depends if people start playing them.
Yeah, fair. I guess they could, you could treasure chest this thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you end up with, a bunch of them being relevant in formats, they kind of have to put them on Modo.
Yeah.
In the most expensive way possible.
Yes, treasure chests.
Yeah.
So, I think that none of the cards strike me as being egregious.
Mm-hmm.
In Biggin, it's kind of close. If you're making your ink, if you're like turn 3, activate my ink moth attack, 6
6 poison, yeah.
Mutagenic growth, you're dead. Or like in Popper, you're like +4ing, like because they already have Might of Old Crow, so now you have 2 Might of Old Crosses.
Yeah, and this one's instant speed.
Oh, you can't quite like. You can elf. I guess you could like elf. In Biggin might mutagenic growth someone on turn 2.
Is invigorate a common?
I think it is. Oh yeah, you can invigorate to it. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm like 90% sure it is.
It is banned in Pauper.
Oh,
it is legal, but banned.
It is common, but they're like, we're not about this life.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Be about this life. Be about this life. Come on. No, I think that there are definitely cards that do not have the effect of like attractions or tickets baked into their price.
Right.
Right? Like what is this? What was the stupid bear from Baldur's Gate? It was just like 1 and a green for like a legendary bear that was a 2/2 with ward 2.
I don't know.
Oh gosh. Anyway, he but like that was a 2-mana card.
Yeah.
That that was like a magic card that was, not good, not great or anything, but like not a terrible card.
Yeah.
Oh man, like they don't even have like on Scryfall I was like, oh, like I know where this card was or where this set was. They don't even have them in the right order. It's like in a special other section. Now I've got to like figure out where it is. All right.
Oh, are you talking about Wilson?
Yes, Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like can't be countered, ward 2, trample, reach, vigilance, background.
Yes. Yeah. So he's like, that thing's like part of Wilson.
Yeah.
At common. Like he wears pants.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to remove his pants.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, like they've not priced like a lot of the tickets or attractions into the mana cost.
Yeah.
They're just free.
Yeah, the stickers I think are balanced on the back end where like the randomness and the efficacy of said stickers is maybe not powerful enough to do anything with. Whereas the attractions are more balanced on the front end where like maybe the cards themselves aren't quite
to the power level.
Yeah.
And where they might have been a problem in Pauper, they've just not given you enough.
Yeah.
To actually have them in Pauper.
Yeah. I still think
like,
if they're cheap enough, there's not really a downside in buying a bunch of them.
Yeah, no, like you could very much end up with like it being a fun thing that people want to do in Commander, or I don't know. Could you see like a Universes Beyond with Wizard of the Coast and like Six Flags?
Or Disney.
Hey, Disney has their own card game.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but like Wizard of the Coast and Six Flags, bring you a bunch of like more attractions.
Yeah.
And like you're just like, oh wait, we broke it.
Yep.
I mean, hey, we got Transformers, which we're gonna talk about next episode. So like you can kind of like we can do anything now. We got Chun-Li. Chun-Li can like ride an Optimus Prime.
Yeah, somebody said on Reddit something about equipping Lucille to Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
or I think it was a Cardboard Crack cartoon or something.
Yeah. Well, while you're rolling your attraction die so you can like win your Beeble prize or whatever. And it's like, ladies and gentlemen, Magic the Gathering. We started out high fantasy. Now we're just at nonsense.
Yep. Nonsense is a good way to put it.
Yeah. And with all of that, I think we have a show. So, if you are super hyped for this nonsense, or you think you've broken attractions in Legacy, please do. I've got like 250 attractions coming to my house. I would prefer it if they all needed to be high, because that's what we banked on.
Yep.
So, but if you've broken attractions, let us know. Get at us on social media. I got a baby to put through college one day.
Yeah,
So let's
hopefully
make
bumper
this happen.
cars do that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Like we break Beebles and we're going ham on Beebles. And he doesn't have to go to college. We'll be Bezos rich off of attractions.
There you go. If you're looking to
Um,
pick up any attractions of your own, and maybe make a spec like Brian did, and I'm probably going to do, you can buy those through our TCG player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Anything you purchase after following that link, we'll get a percentage of to help keep the show going. If you want to support us more directly, if you like what we do and want to show your appreciation, head up our Patreon, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. Patrons get access to our pre-show, they get access to our show notes, and you get put on my mailing list for when I have stuff to send to you. So if any of that sounds good, or if you just like us and want to show your support, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg, and send us a couple bucks. We would greatly appreciate it.
yes, please. Thank you.
Got anything else for this week?
Nope. So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internets.